So who does Zoro actually respect? How much about Sanji? About Robin? We'll see all of that in this video. First, we have all black characters. Freaking zero respect. Because most of Zoro's opponents are dark skinned. So basically no respect. We all know that. Just a coincidence, but many people actually consider that he is racist. I don't know. King, zero respects because he thinks he's superior. Zoro hates that. Then we have Kizaru, because Kizaru is just an admiral, right? But he actually almost killed Zoro in Sabaody, so no freaking respect for him. Then we have Helmeppo. Helmeppo is very funny because I would say zero respect as well, or even 0.1 respect, because Zoro, he was tied up and Helmeppo, he stomped on rice balls, and also because of him he had to suffer many days of hunger. When Zoro re-encounters him, he doesn't even remember anymore who he is, but then when Zoro remembers, he's like, that guy. So I'd say almost no respect for him, but just a very little one, because so Zoro doesn't hate him anymore. He's just like, man, that guy. He looks at him kind of in a mocking way, let's say. Then we have Kaku. He does respect Kaku because he won against him in a very tough fight. So I wouldn't say it's like 4%. I would say it's more like 20%, because he does respect him because they had a tough fight and it's all been then again when they re-encounter each other. So very interesting. And then Tashigi, I would say he has 50%. Yeah, like a lot of respect for her. Why? Because she's a copy of Kuina, but at the same time, Zoro doesn't like hers. Like, Zoro gets pissed off because of her, but at the same time, he kind of respects her because not only because she's a woman, but because she reminds him of Kuina. And so all that combination makes him respect her. And now we have Bartholomew Kuma. He kind of respects in some degree because Kuma, he accepted the offering of saving Luffy and not killing Luffy and killing him instead. So that made him respect him a little bit. So I'm quite okay with that. Even though he caused him a lot of pain, I think he still respects him a little bit. So I would say it's like 30%. I would say it's even more than Kaku, because Kaku, he does respect, but he finds him kind of funny. He's giraffe. But with Kuma, it's a different kind of respect, you see. And now Nami, I would say with Nami, he has a lot of respect, like 70%, 80%. I would say like 70%. She hits him all the time, and he is kind of fine with her, but at the same time, he's like, eh. So I would say 70% is fine. Like, he does respect her more than not. And now we have Perona. Perona, the thing is that I would say she does get a little more respect than Nami because she treated when they kind of lived for a long time together, so he has a certain respect for her. I would say it's like 75. It's not that much, but it's still a good respect because he doesn't like her that much, but at the same time he respects her for everything she has done to him and for the way she kind of shows care for him in a certain unconventional way. Koby, I would say basically, let's say it's basically like 15%. I would say it's not that much as... I would say it's like 25%. I would say it's a little more than Kaku, because when he sees Koby, he sees his transformation, he sees that he has trained a lot, that he's stronger now in everything he has done. So all of that reminds himself of also what happened in the past, because Koby was there with Luffy to help him in the very beginning. So all of that made him grow in respect for Koby. If he was like the old Koby, it would be like 1% or even less. The transformed Koby, let's say, Luffy actually acknowledges him as a good person, as a person he likes. That makes Zoro respect him more. Then we have Nico Robin. I would say he respects her more than he does with Nami. So I would say it's like 75% as well, like with Perona. Why? He doesn't have anything against Robin. Like, when he talks to Robin, they seem like good friends. So he respects her just for who she is and also everything she has done. But the respect feels like more. See, especially in the way they talk to each other and especially the way they interact with each other. And then we have Franky. Franky, I would say it's like 50%, because Franky is the the ship, right? But at the same time, I don't know, he's a pervert, and the super way he acts, it doesn't match that much with what Zoro does and the way of Zoro of being and interacting with the world. And he also doesn't get impressed by his new robots and like all the weapons he builds. So he kind of respects him, but it's not as much as with others, I would say. I would say it's kind of the same with Brook as well. Brook is like, say it's like 60 or whatever, because, or even 50%, 60%, because Brook is just a skeleton dude. Like, first time he saw him, he was kind of scared of him. It's in a good sense, because Zoro is basically not scared at all. He was surprised that Luffy wanted him to join a crew, like a skeleton to join the crew. But then when Brook showed his musical abilities and also started to play Bink Sake, because Zoro likes to drink to celebrate, especially to drink something, and then when the song mentions that with the drinks and etc., kind of makes Zoro respect him more. Now that we are talking about drinks, how much does Zoro respect drinks? Respect sake. Of course, I would say like 100%. Even more, like if there is like a 200%, it's like 200% because he loves it. He loves that. So favorite food, favorite drink, whatever it is, it's Zoro's favorite. Just like meat for Luffy is like some booze for Zoro. And then we have like Usopp. Usopp, I would say, is like 70% like Nami. Even like 71%, a little more. Because he risks his life in spite of fear and danger. And he knows that Usopp is just a kind of weakling, but he starts to respect Usopp more and more with the time. When you have him in Water 7, almost leaving the crew and almost not coming back, then Zoro starts to lose a lot of his respect for Usopp, like a freaking lot. But then after the time skip, you see how much Usopp has changed and improved. He might still be the same, but like in Dressrosa, when they call him God Usopp and everything that happened, when Usopp almost risked his life to save the toys, and Zoro knowing about what happened, that makes him respect Usopp so much more, especially when he saw like his 500 million berry bounty by Doflamingo. Just crazy, and makes Zoro respect for Usopp rise up. But the problem is when Usopp starts to talk about like how much he fears whatever, and like, oh, he doesn't want to go, that doesn't necessarily piss Zoro off, but it's like, man, bro, stop complaining, man. Like you can see that Zoro doesn't like when Usopp says that. I think with all of that, I should make it like 71. It's really good. Yeah, 71. And then for Law, he has a great amount of respect. I would say like 80% respect, because he allied with them and then he helped them, and also he got helped by Law. Zoro got helped by Law. So I would say it's 80% because Law actually did something for him, which is great. And then Chopper because he always heals, so I would say it's like 90%. He loves Chopper, so 90% is a good one. Always treats and heals Zoro and cares for Zoro, which is great. And now we have Sanji. Sanji, I would say it's like, it's not a 100%. Like with booze, I would say it's like 95%, because he respects him a freaking lot. Even though like they seem to hate each other, but he actually respects him so much. According to Oda, they're basically on equal footing. So underestimating Sanji is something we should not do at all. And Zoro loves Sanji, like he really loves. And then we have the little child, Rika. He respects her 100%. Why do I say 100%? Because Zoro, he is actually ready to die for her. He's actually ready to die in hunger for her. Like, actually ready to do everything for her. And he accepts her rice balls, even though they're freaking dirty and like not good anymore. So I think all of that is just to say, like, if not 100%, I would just say like 95% with Sanji, because he's actually ready to die for her. And now Jinbe, I would say it's like 90%, because he was glad when Jinbe joined the crew. And now with Jinbe, I would say it's like 85%. Yeah, 85% is good, because he's glad when Jinbe joins the crew. He knows Jinbe like did a lot for Luffy, and he's friends with Luffy, so he actually respects him as a person, as a new member of the crew as well. So, and he also knows Jinbe is freaking strong, and that makes him respect him even more. And now we have Filler Bark guy, Ryuma, he fights against. I think he respects him like 85% as well. No, let's say like 90%. Why? Because he's a freaking, like 75%. Because they are both like on basically equal footing, almost. But then Zoro shows that he's just better than him. And then he gets the sword, but the problem is that it's a dead body. It's not an alive. It's not someone who's actually alive there. But I know that if he actually encountered the real samurai, then he will respect him even more, because that would be the real one, not just a copy, let's say. And then you have Rayleigh. He respects him a lot because he saved him, and he's also incredibly strong. He also trained Luffy, so he respects him a freaking lot. Say like 90%. Yeah, 90%. Very good. Or even 95% with Sanji. Why? Because one thing is like loving and like having an intimate relationship with the person. The other thing is respect. That's different. So I would say he respects him a lot because he saved him in Sabaody, and he did a lot of things. He's actually also the king of the pirates, second in command. It's not a random dude. That's why he respects him. And then Zoro's master, 100%. He respects his master 100%. Kuina also 100%. Both he respects 100%. And also Mihawk as well 100%. Now, if you take like his master against Mihawk, I would say I could put his master at like 98% and Mihawk at 100. But Mihawk 100 because that's his greatest enemy. He just put him like, he just made him realize how weak he still was. That's his dream, to surpass Mihawk. Then you have Luffy, also 100%. He was ready to sacrifice himself for Luffy, to die for him. And the one who, there are people we respect more than others, but there is someone that we should respect that person like a lot, like with our whole life, 1000%, because that person actually sacrificed himself for us. He died for us. His name is Jesus. So he died for us. Even though he resurrected later, what he did for us, he bore our sins for us. Like, he sacrificed himself for the whole humanity. That's basically God in the form of flesh, and he did all of that for us. So God is the one we should respect the most, because not only he created us and allowed us to live, he gave everything we have, good arms, good health, and we should be grateful for that. See you in the next one. Peace.